Brownback Mornings Power 106.
Yeah.
And in the building, we got Don Toliver.
Let's get it.
What's good, bro? How you feeling right now? And I know, you know, Hearthstone Psycho is out. It's been out, you know, a couple days. How does it feel, just like the reception that you've been getting from the project so far?
It's been good, man. It's a blessing, bro. Like, it's one of my favorite things to just, like, really, you know, feel the people, feel what the people is feeling. It's a blessing, man. That's all I ever wanted was, you know, to get a good, you know, feedback from my music from the jump. So to still be here and to get, you know, the feedback I've been getting is a real blessing.
What do you feel like difference, if any, between like Lovesick and then like Life of a Dawn? Like, do you feel like every time it's like more people kind of like congratulating you, or is it less now because people just expect you to like do things and it's not as much of people reaching out like, yo, congrats, bro, you're doing your thing?
I mean, honestly, I just changed my number, like, so it's definitely less people able to hit me up, and you know, everybody who doesn't have my number right now, family, friends, whatever, please hit me up on the gram. Let's take care of that. But you know, I just kind of had to change my number, you know, and with me doing that, kind of narrowed the window of people to hit me up.
Right. Yeah.
Time the album
I
drop.
get you, yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, like the internet was going crazy for sure.
Yeah.
No, I really love like the new aesthetic you have, and I feel like it's been a journey, you know.
Yeah.
And even just seeing like the growth in the creative as far as visuals. How did we get to this point? Like the influence of like the motorcycle lifestyle.
Well, I like how you said motorcycle lifestyle.
Well, I don't know if there's a term for it.
That was great. That was really good. Honestly, it kind of stemmed off of me. I always wanted to learn how to ride bikes. My uncle was heavy into motorcycles. He rode baggers, like basically his whole life. Yeah. I was never a bagger guy, but like I always thought bikes and motorcycles was cool. Yeah. More so choppers.
Yeah.
I kind of started just doing more research. And start looking at bikes that I liked, because I thought it was even far-fetched that I would even ride like that. But I started kind of doing research on what I think I would like as far as like choppers and different motorcycles. And then I ended up just going to Harley and buying a bike one day, and really just like I kind of taught myself. Honestly, I taught myself how to ride. I got on YouTube. YouTube is crazy.
Teach you everything.
Yeah, I got on YouTube and literally just learned how to like work that clutch, really learned how to like, you know, work that friction zone. If anybody in here knows how to ride, like, you know what I'm talking about. But I kind of learned that, and that was really the basis of it. And my uncle, what really pushed me is my uncle, you know, he ended up passing away on his bike late 23. And this was like right around the time when I was kind of like telling him that I was getting into this and telling him that, you know, I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, ride and what particular bikes I was going and all this. So yeah, that really fueled me to really take it to the next level with this whole album, with the whole everything, and we're here today.
So it was almost like a little homage to him too, as well.
Definitely paying big homage to Uncle Carl. But you know, I found a love for it myself as I kept going with the album. Like, as I kept, every time I had to film, every time I had to like do anything that involved the bike, I just fell in love with it. I built the whole bike through this whole I built the whole shovel head through this whole process, and that was amazing. Fell in love with that bike, and it's just been beautiful. You know, it's been something that I can actually have fun with. I can enjoy with my friends, you know. And
that's super dope. Do you feel like now that you're Team Chopper, do you like have beef with like the Kawasaki's, like, or like how do you feel? Like, I know there's like a divide in like between like the biking community.
Nah, you know, I kind of trying to like, so I'm very much so Team Chopper. Yeah. But like my whole thing is to, you know, form an alliance of guys who ride choppers, build choppers.
Yeah.
That's the main focus, but I'm locked in with like all motorheads around the world.
Nice.
Like that's what I want to do, you know. Like I feel like honestly, like the world that we in right now is kind of all it's like one genre when it comes to motorcycles, even choppers or even the ninja thing is kind of like its own world. I'm kind of trying to like merge, intertwine cultures, make this one big like thing that everybody can kind of get into, whether you ride a Banshee, whether you ride a ninja, whether you ride a chopper, whatever. I'm trying to bring all of this together somehow, some way.
I thought it was like
go ahead. I was
gonna say, I thought it was kind of like the journey of like maturity, even like, you know, becoming a father, because you see people change, like they go from like the street bike Kawasaki, and then you go into like the let me just cruise and not go crazy with it, you know.
I'm just, you know, I want everybody to stay in their lane, whoever they want to, you know, how they rock, but like just to bring all the real motorheads together who just even, because I like there's a couple Kawasaki's that I like. I probably wouldn't ride them, but I like them. I like to look at them. I like to go over them. There's a bunch of choppers that I like. You know, there's a bunch of baggers that I like too, quote unquote. But, you know, it's to each his own, you know.
What about, like, can I be around if I have a Vespa?
That Vespa gotta be crazy. Like, the horsepower on that Vespa's gotta be, like, mind-blowing.
You wouldn't find yourself riding, like, a street bike or anything like that?
Street bike? Like a dirt bike?
Like, no, like a Ninja or, like...
Oh.
Not that type of stuff?
Maybe in my future times.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like that might gotta
you gotta be like triple 20, OG, so 20, no one really question him. Like
that's gotta be like I gotta be on like Blade time, like 20. like I gotta be on something real crazy, futuristic if I'm going that way. But
have would it mean more to you if you like? And obviously you've probably been out and like heard cars playing your music, but if you hear like bikers playing your music like from their stereo,
it's crazy.
Would that or has that happened?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Does that mean a little more to you?
Nah, it's hard. Honestly, when I was like coming up with this whole thing, like the vision was for like Harley enthusiasts to like be playing the music on the bikes.
Dope.
But then I learned like, you know, not everybody's riding bagger. Not everybody's riding bagger with the big wheel and all that. So, you know, when I see it, it's cool. And like, and eventually I want to go get me a bagger that I customize exactly the way I want it, to have all the speakers on it so I can play the music as well. But I think it's dope. It's super dope when I see it. I don't like it.
Yeah, you can hear those baggers from down the block.
It's hard. It's super hard. I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's just I would have to customize mine a certain way, but I definitely love the energy.
Yeah, I read that you watched a lot of like biker movies, kind of like getting in. I don't know if it's like character or just like getting inspiration. What were some of like your favorite movies that you came across?
Man, it's hard honestly. When I think about this, it's pretty. I get stuck every time, but. It's because it's a bunch of old movies that I liked a lot.
More like vintage stuff.
Yeah, more like vintage stuff, bro. I watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah. Are you like a fan of James Dean now? Like, you know, I know he had like a lot of, you know, biker movies back in the day. Nah. I might not know. I'm not good on actors neither, but because I'm not really a crazy movie guy. To be honest. Okay.
I'm always in action, but when I really want to study something, it was like one movie. Like I just went to go see The Bike Riders like 2 days ago. That was, but more so into it's like something with leather, like metal and leather. It's like one movie or something like that. There's another movie. You know what I'm talking about with that movie?
No.
It's like something like that, like something with leather. And then it's another movie that I like as well.
Yeah.
Where it's like the prez and it's a whole crazy thing. I was just seeing it like 3 weeks ago. I was like riding to Lancaster. But either way it goes, it's a bunch of crazy legendary biker movies.
Right.
You know, the Easy Rider and all that. But there's way more. There was one I really, really, really enjoyed watching. It was something metal and leather, but it was crazy. I really just watched those movies to get inspiration
like
from
visual
bike.
inspiration.
Not even like just bike inspiration. Like look at how they built their bikes and like I kind of look at all those like old frames, those 70 frames, like and kind of just grab ideas from it to how I would want to build my next bike or how I would want to like customize the bike that I have.
Right, because in the short film, it was like the process of you building it and like riding it.
Yeah, it was a process of me kind of being able to build it, and the few times that I was able to ride it, in the short film.
Was that vest inspired by a movie or by Stone Cold Steve Austin?
It was a little both, honestly. Like, you know, I'm from Texas. I love wrestling a lot.
No way.
Yeah.
So do we.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, and I love wrestling a lot. So when I seen it, it definitely gave me like a lot of great ideas of what I would want. Like, then he wore an actual vest.
Right.
So it was like, you know, it kind of you know, correlated with me great. But then I end up really coming up with my the Hearthstone cross and all this other stuff, which really made the jacket the way I wanted to. But Austin, Austin was definitely a great influence in the beginning of all this. Like coming from Texas, you know, him being a rattlesnake and all that other
Yeah.
So you're pretty confident that you could take apart a Harley and put it back together like nothing, and you know, because in the short film, they're just like, no.
Don't put that out there.
Actually, I'm gonna be 100% real. I definitely can, bro. When I took the oil pan out and we was building that bike, I actually have a picture of me holding the motor up.
Oh wow,
holding the
that's
motor
heavy.
up. Like,
Yeah.
OD. Like I took a lot of that. I took a lot of it apart. From the seat, battery, we did all of that. The exhaust, I helped them kind of like, you know, there was Yaniv at Power Plant. Shout out Power Plant. They helped me build this bike. But Yaniv kind of, he's a
like a guidance of what.
Yeah, me and him kind of. He built everything. He what's that word for when you do metal? Fabricated the metal.
Oh yeah.
And all of that. But I definitely, me and him sat and bumped heads all day on how we wanted this bike to come out. And we had like a couple of days where I would go and just take the bike apart and put it back together.
Yeah,
we did time lapse.
That's super dope.
Yeah, we did time lapse, and he kind of taught me everything of how it went. It's pretty simple, like to take a bike apart. To be honest, it's not really as extreme as you would think. It's not that many parts, but it was pretty easy. Primary, all that, like
Once you kind of get the hang of it.
Yeah, you know, I just take everything off piece by piece.
Yeah.
Fire.
Tell me about how you came up with the name Hearthstone Psycho. It's super dope.
Hearthstone Psycho. Basically, Hearthstone is kind of like my next entity of where I started my own label.
Oh, fire.
I got my own. Thank you. I got my own brand coming as well. Hearthstone.
Nice.
Hearthstone leathers and denim.
Yeah.
And so the brand is what did it. Hearthstone leather and denim is on its way. That did it. And just I feel like I was already sitting on the name because I was working on the brand and the label and everything of such.
Yeah.
But I was just like, why don't I just stamp it, this album, and let this be the coming out, you know. The biggest biggest piece of Hearthstone is the Hearthstone Psycho, which is me. So it's like tell a story of just kind of like, you know, the journey of where we're at now. It's just like now I'm trying to build this crazy numbers. I tell everybody every time, like in 2023 I want to do that. You ever seen the Warriors?
Yeah.
I want to do that crazy. I want it to be like 2030 or something. Maybe it's like Psycho 2 or something or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like I do that crazy like Coliseum shot where it's like 200, 300 Hearthstone, like you know, bikers.
That's
it's all
crazy.
everybody invests like, you know, like in the Coliseum ready to go, and you never know what the future holds, you know. People might really have to like stand in numbers like that, you know, in those years to come. So I don't know. That's kind of like the bigger picture vision that I have for Hearthstone. Yeah,
that's super dope. And now like that I'm thinking of it, I don't really remember any like artists, rappers like being like in the bike kind of community too.
Right.
And I think that's like starting a new wave. Would you feel a way if you start to see other rappers start to like take that route and be like, oh, bro, you don't even go here, like, what's up,
man?
Or would you be flattered like, oh, they're following suit?
Man, you know, it's a lot of stuff that other rappers do that I might not always like see eye to eye on, and that probably would be one. But honestly, like, it would take a lot for another artist to do it, I feel like, and to make it even make sense for whatever they got going on. Because it took a lot for it to kind of correlate with me. But at the same time, I just kind of knew what I want. I know what I want. Yeah. I know what I like to ride, you know. My family's been in it for a while too, and I'm actually from Texas. So.
Right, so it's in you. It's you're not making 100%. Like a facade, like just to get an aesthetic.
Yeah, it's 100% in me. And then it's another thing. It's just like you just gotta know what you got going on. Like it's deeper than, you know, this whole thing that I built is really deeper than just the vibe or the bike itself, you know. It was really a living breathing thing for me. So you know, if they can achieve that same thing for themselves and be able to tell their story within the bike, so be it. I know it would be difficult.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But talk to me about the album. Like, you know, I know you had like dope features, but the one that stuck out to me was Charlie Wilson.
Yeah,
I was like, bro,
Cash
how you work
Cobain
with Uncle Charlie and Cash and bringing them together on the song? Talk to me about that song.
Attitude, I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. Charlie Wilson, he worked with me on my last album. It was Lovesick on a song called If I Had, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time. I love Charlie. His energy is like some of the most craziest energy for who he is and how old he is and how he carries himself. It's truly amazing. So to have him a part of anything that I got going on is always a blessing, and he definitely showed up on that record. So it's a crazy moment when he comes on. It's like
it is. I'm like, what?
It's so cool, bro. Like to be even in clubs, performances, when that part comes on, you just feel the energy and just I love it so much.
Was that one of like, I don't know how your family is, but like for me, like I interviewed plenty of artists, plenty of rappers, but one time we interviewed Smokey Robinson, and that's when my dad was like super proud. He's like, I know who that is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, I play him in my lowrider. Like he was hype. He started calling his friends. My son interviewed Smokey Robinson. Was your family's reaction maybe similar? Like, oh, you know, my son has a song with Charlie Wilson. Like you can't talk shit.
Crazy moment. Like one Mother's Day, I was able to take. One Mother's Day in Houston, Texas. He was performing in my hometown, and I took my mom and my grandma out, and for dinner, and I took them out to see him, and that was a real surreal moment. That's bro. Crazy. To for me to grow up in a household where all we listened to was Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Charlie Wilson, Teddy Pendergrass, and a bunch more artists, and for me to just, you know, have my grandma and my mom stand next to Charlie be who Charlie Wilson is. It was a real moment for me, man. To me, he brought me on stage, gave me flowers, you know, and I just love Charlie, man.
That's amazing.
That's super cool.
I wanted to know, like, what was the idea? Because I know that you have the album in 4 parts.
Yeah.
And it's 4 tracks at a time. So, like, what led to you breaking the album down in this way?
So basically, I you know, I'm like a very versatile artist, and I wanted to. It's hard to do albums every year with me because like I'm such a versatile artist, and I want to do so many different things on the album. I want to sing. I might want to do a country song. I might want to do a rap song. I might want to do a blues song. I might want to. So I kind of broke it down into 4 sections where 4 different parts of the album kind of take you in 4 different places, and I kind of broke it down into it's a ride, you know. Everything is kind of bike driven, so the whole album is a ride. Every section was a section I named for like a landmark that I have been to around the parts. So basically, the 4 parts are landmarks that I've named of places that I've been around in California that I didn't want to really disclose location so people would know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's just like Thunder Road is like just like a one-off street in Malibu that's just like a straight road that nobody really knows about, you know.
You're like, don't get on my cutty spots because that's where I'm chilling.
Right, exactly. Dead Man's Canyon is another spot. That's another spot. Twin Peaks is another spot, and the Promised Land, and I just actually added a disc 5, which is Stonehenge. It's kind of like the dreamer state of this whole thing. I wanted to come with like 4 more songs where I just felt like how did this even happen? Like this is like you know, it's more of like a mirage. So it gets so hot in the desert, gets so hot. Dead Man's Canyon gets so hot in these places where it's like you start seeing mirages and you start
hallucinating.
You start seeing the Stonehenge. It's like it's crazy, but that's how I broke it down into, you know, 5 different parts of just landmarks that I didn't want to really disclose where they were. And it's a actual ride. The album takes you,
so cool.
you know, in different avenues. You'll be turned right here. You'd be thinking about some right here. You'd be back up. So that was like the best way for me to break it down so people can have these different moments.
Yeah.
And identify them.
No, most definitely. I know, like, I think like a big song, you know, obviously that like was one of your biggest coming out was like Lemonade.
Right.
You know, do you get like, I guess like fans coming to you and being like, oh, like make another Lemonade or something, and it's just like, what is your like response to that when people try to like tell you to do some old stuff even though you're on something completely new?
I think honestly, I always just try to I might try to go in the studio and like, you know, try to recreate that energy. You know,
yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I feel like this album, I was definitely able to go back into like my Donnie Womack, my early Don Toliver bag, and kind of feel a little bit of that energy. I kind of feel like I nailed it with that on this one.
Yeah,
just a little bit, not too much leaning into the old school, but I brought a little bit to the table. So
yeah.
I think about that, and you know, I try to meet the demands of my fans as much as I possibly can. To be honest, you know, when it comes to Pacific songs, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, this and that, but
right. Talking about old times, you know, it's funny for me because I actually shot the cover for your "Can't Feel My Legs."
For real?
Yeah.
No, you did.
I swear to God.
He told us that. I was like, no way.
Yeah, I shot the cover. I actually still have all the Polaroids from the whole shoot.
For real?
Yeah, so it's like full circle.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was mostly like behind the scenes photography and everything.
Okay.
And then we started here. So he has like a lot of history with a lot of artists when he was just behind the camera.
Right.
Crazy.
Too many people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I like the other day I was going like cleaning up my room and I was going through all the Polaroids and I was like, that's crazy. It's like,
Can't say it was crazy. I mean, what shoot you do again?
Can't Feel My Legs.
Yeah, that was a crazy shoot.
Yeah. That was a crazy shoot.
So like you were saying, you would be going into country? You would try that? You would go into that lane?
Yeah, I love country music.
You were talking about how all the music that you would go... What's like a crazy genre that you always wanted to touch on?
A crazy genre that I always wanted to touch on?
Yeah.
Man, to be honest, I think like... I always want to do Afrobeat music and piano, and I kind of dabbled in that a little bit with WizKid. Shout out to OG, and I'm just still cooking, you know, cooking. But I was one of the things I always wanted to jump into, and when I did, it was like amazing. It's like that's Afrobeats and piano music. It's like all over the world.
Yeah,
facts.
You do some Afrobeats country.
Man, might go crazy.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
No, let's say, you know, I know that also when you perform, you're big on production, like on your stage and everything. Is there anything we should look forward to now with like this kind of theme and that you got going on, like
choppers.
As far as
Choppers?
Lots of choppers. Lots of choppers.
That's so dope. I heard that there was maybe some like Jack Boys music coming out soon.
Maybe. Maybe.
What is it like when you're in the studio with like all like the Jack Boys? Like, what's that vibe like in there?
It's like family, you know what I'm saying? I've known these guys for years and years to come, and we always have a special dynamic. It's really like a family thing when we just start really getting in the groove and cooking.
That's super dope.
That's fire.
You probably won't answer, but I'm like, are there any other Pop Smoke songs that like were left on the cutting board of like the original Jack
I couldn't
Boys?
tell you. I wouldn't know, bro.
I just thought about it. I'm like, oh, they have to be somewhere.
Rest in peace, Pop, man.
Rest in peace. I noticed, you know, when you've done songs, incredible songs in the past with Cali. How is it like being like in a public yet private relationship, like with, you know, everything out here?
I just mind my business. I don't be caring. I be feeling like, you know, I got responsibilities, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the relationship, you know, you just focus on what you got going on, we be all right. You know, it be a lot going on out here, so we kind of just lock in on what's important to us.
It seems like that's the most successful way to do it. It's like, you guys know that we're together. You don't know nothing about us, though. Like, you don't know nothing about our dynamic like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's genius.
Nice. Yeah. How is it, being a new father?
It's amazing. It's a blessing.
Is it changing like a lot of like your day to day, like in terms of like, okay, now I used to go to studio at night, but now I have to go in the morning or anything like that?
Yeah, my girl just called me all day with him on the phone. She probably might call me right now, but that's probably the only difference. And you know, it's little man, love him to death.
Man, congrats, man.
Yeah,
Thank
congrats
you.
on
Love
that.
to see it.
That's super dope.
Thank you so much.
All right, Don, man, I appreciate you. The album is out now.
Yes.
Don Toliver, Hearthstone Psycho.
Hearthstone Psycho, go get that right now.
That's right. Brown Bag Mornings, Power 106. Appreciate you, Don.
Appreciate you.
Make sure you watch that short film, too.
Yes, sir.